The 10th episode of the Stephie Smalls Show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at Underdog Fantasy, promo code SMALLS to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Get up to $750 in cashback rewards each month when you sign up at edgeboost.bet and use the promo code SGPN.
Are you ready?
It's Wednesday, which means the weekend starts tomorrow. We've officially hit double-digit episodes of Triple S on SGPN, so hit subscribe, hit the like button on this video. We're already messing up our words. It's early on. First up today, Geoff Fienberg is going to be on to talk a little Masters pregame with me. I have some AFC West questions for him as well. And then Cody, aka Smash It Sports, we'll jump on to talk through some of these NFL draft markets that continue to trickle in, but let's get right into it. Very excited to have him on. One of my favorite people in the entire gambling space. There's a lot to not like out there, so that's big remarks for him. This is Geoff Fienberg of Mayo Media Network, Odds Check US, and the Hammer HQ. How's it going, Geoff?
I'm doing well, Steph. Good to talk. Happy to join you.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on. It's been a minute. The Masters is next week, as you know. This is when the casuals come in too, because the casuals pay attention to the majors. They don't bet every week like us sickos do. I had a destination wedding, so I am looking forward to actually sitting on my couch and rotting. Do the kids let you sit there and watch and pay attention to all of the Masters? How does that work as a dad?
Yes, major championship golf and week one of football are sort of like days in which the world is my oyster. I have permission to go from an okay dad to like a delinquent father. That being said, I don't want to get like controversial off the top here. Tragic news to find out that the two Passover Seders are on Saturday and Sunday of Masters Week, and it just broke me to find that out. And it's not even that I won't be able to watch. It's like just the company I'll have to keep, if that makes any sense. And like the amount of people I'd want to watch Moving Day or Sunday at the Masters with is probably like 7 in the whole world. So yeah, that already, like I'm not as excited as I should be, but obviously, I say that with some hyperbole because I'm pretty freaking excited.
Yeah, very excited. Yeah, you'd want to pay full attention, and you're not going to be able to maybe do that at some point.
It's not even the end of it. The thought of move. I don't even wear. It's the Masters. Like I don't even want to be wearing pants.
No.
And the thought of and this is going to sound like super corny, but you know what it's like. It's like at the end of a Giants game, you probably just feel like exhausted.
Oh yeah,
right? Like
I don't watch Giants with anyone.
No, but I just to compare it. Like I put much like watching my Bolts play. Like the Masters, I put like my all into doing nothing.
Yes.
And watching it, and somehow when the day is over, like when moving day is over, it's like you feel like you need a shower. It was exhausting. Like you need you just played or something. So I'm like a mental midget like that. Like I go all in, and to think I have to restrain myself or at least be wearing pants is disappointing.
I mean, I get pissed off and I have to take my dog out during it. That's like really wrong to say. Sorry, Kai, if you're listening to this. Do you place future? I don't think you're much of like a futures majors better here and there, some of them.
So I have one Masters future, and I only have 2 other future bets for the majors, which is on the same player. But to say, I want to say the major markets have just gotten worse, like the futures markets. I feel like there used to be opportunity. You can maybe snipe something. And I say that as someone, I swear to you, I'm looking at the major markets all year. Like every few weeks, like I'm giving a peek over at Odds Checker to see the grids. And for the most part, there's only one-way traffic. I did a show with Mayo a couple years ago, right before Victor, weeks ago, I say years, right before Victor won a couple weeks ago, I meant to say. And we were amazed that Victor was still just like 28-30 to 1 before he had even won Valspar, indicating that the traffic only moves one way. You could be playing horrible. They know, the books are smart enough to know that some of these guys, they're great players. They got some more time to get their games together. We're not going to give you a number. So future markets, I'm not really into them. That being said, I have a Baccia at 100 to 1. That's the one future that I am sitting on for the Masters this week. Akshay 100. I mean, if he has a mediocre Valero, I'm sure he'll be 100 next week, to be honest.
I have a 120 to 1 on him. I don't know if you saw my tweet. Caesars has a 35 to 1 on him right now for the Masters. Like, what are we doing?
That is insane. And I joke often. Right now, there is not a worse time in the entire calendar to bet the Masters than right now. Like, I'm sure, like, you know, we mentioned Akshay. We both found markets earlier in the season. Maybe an opportunity. Maybe we'll get a little bit of value. But the books know, like, anyone who wants to bet the Masters right now, it's like a drug addict, like, frantically needing a hit.
Yeah.
Like, you need that dopamine hit. Just take a deep breath. There will be a small handful of players who odds do shorten, be it like they'll get super public from some of, you know, people who have respect in the marketplace this weekend, or they'll have good Valeros or play well on live. But 98% of the current Masters board, 98% of the players will have a better odd on the weekend or next week than they do right now.
Right. And how many guys, like, estimate can actually win? Like, are realistically, like, going to be someone that is going to be truly competitive here that's worth your wager?
I'll be polite and say like 20 or 22,
Okay.
but a part of me feels like it's 8.
Right.
And at that point, you know, to not having future Steph, it's almost like at no point in the year was I ready to plant my flag, so to say, on which super elite is going to do it next week.
Right.
Like, I'm no rush to make that decision. I haven't made it as we're talking. I only have that one bet at 100. But, you know, other than probably getting suckered into investing into, like, a couple of my favorite players, because, you know, sometimes with the majors, not that I ever do anything methodically, but with the majors, sometimes I really do just like betting the players I like.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to be stamped in history, I want to like you. And I want the players that I do like to be there, as opposed to any random week on tour we bet week in, week out on their circus schedule. Like, I don't care. But I shouldn't say that. I always have a bias, but my bias is coming strong, truth be told, for the Masters. But yeah, I think it's reasonable. It's not out of line to say I think only 7 or 8 guys can win this. And then at that point, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a very attractive outright situation next week.
Yeah. And speaking of, I like to bet, I'm kind of with you there with, like, granted, I have my guys that I bet all the time. It's like, I think you called it with it, like, your own losers. Like, you got your own losers. People try to tell me to bet their losers. They don't understand. No. I got my own guys who don't win to bet. I don't need your guys. I have my own idiots. Like, that's, I'm going to, and I want to root for them. One of the guys I struggle to root with, I saw there's a lot of propaganda right now on Twitter. I don't know if you're seeing this about this guy. Colin Markle, you like to call him. So Colin Morikawa, he is getting a lot of love because of the numbers, and there's a lot of stats that this year he's ahead of Rory and Scotty. Where are you at with him as far as the Masters? Because that's someone I won't be betting just from a, like, I am not going to root for you.
No, I'm not ruining for you. You sort of, you walked me into it, Steph. But yeah, I call him Meghan Markle Morikawa. He's the third guy on the odds board. He hasn't won in 500 days. Like, you gotta win. Like, you gotta, at some point you have to win. And I say that as someone who loves Justin Herbert, loves Tommy Fleetwood, you know, but right? Like, I get it. But at some point you have to win. And I'm not willing to invest at that number at a guy who hasn't won in 500 days to cross the line at the Masters first. I'm just not going to do it. It doesn't mean he can't do it. It doesn't mean I would be shocked if he did it. But at that betting number, I am not. Steph, he also hasn't played since the Players.
Right.
So of every one of those high-end guys, they all realize, I want to play in this lead-in month. I want to play in this lead-in month. And, let's talk about it for what it is. Like, Morikawa was fine at the Players. He was great at the Players. I even bet him at the Players. He didn't win the Players.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Bay Hill. But on like Tuesday or Wednesday of the Players, he's tearing up to the media because he didn't like how the media was talking about him for not wanting to answer the bell after, I don't want to say choking at Bay Hill, but just not winning. Yeah. Just not winning, went in neutral and let Henley clip him. All it took was one eagle, but there was opportunity for Morikawa to step away. And I just thought it was a very unappealing scene by Morikawa. No sport, Steph, gives a player an opportunity to be a winner more than golf. We have 4 major championships. Yeah. That would be like 4 different quarterbacks getting a chance to be called like a champion in a season. When there's only one of them, and if you're not that guy, you're a loser until you're that guy. Yeah. Right? So Morikawa didn't blow a major. He didn't even blow the Players. So what did he blow? The 5th, 6th, 7th most important tournament of the calendar year? That'd be, a quarterback throws a pick in a big game, week 15. Like, you got to go talk about it. Yeah. And then signing autographs as a shield is mind-boggling to me.
He's like, for 10 minutes. Like, what are you talking about?
So he just clearly seems like a sensitive guy. Yeah. And at this point, part of me is saying it's not out of the range of possibilities that this very awkward interaction could weigh on him a little bit. That being said, he got one of the prestigious podium spots for the Masters Interview Center, and it'll be interesting to see how, if I'm certain that sequence at Bay Hill will come up again, and it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But all that to say is, in one instance, he took a blemish-free reputation and he kind of put a spotlight on this 500-day no-win streak and the fact that he's a bit of a jerk. And whether you like it or not, think it's fair or not, that opportunity has created that situation created an opportunity for a lot of people sort of behind the scenes on the PGA Tour to send out whispers about Colin Morikawa sort of behind the scenes, and that he's not really the most enjoyable character, easy to deal with. So there it is. I had a lot to say about it. Truth be told, Steph, you know how the internet works. So if I had to power rank the players I just don't want to win, just to not deal with 1,000 mentions, Colin Morikawa would be power ranked 1 for me. But in a betting perspective, there's also just no way I'm getting there.
Yeah, no. And he's actually never taken more than 2 weeks off before the Masters. So I'm wondering, was he so sensitive that he's like, I need a minute.
It's how the schedule works. I don't want to, but you saw a lot of players though, Steph, hijacked last week into it that don't normally go there or found a way to play this week. So they all sort of made an extra effort to work that stop in. Now, Morikawa, he's been on the tour long enough. It's sort of it's not Rory when I say I guess he's now at the point of his career where he's just flirting with different ways to enter majors as they all try to find their sweet spot. Right. And forever we saw them sort of follow Tiger's lead of not liking to play before the majors. Like any good pro, I don't say good pro, but it's like a copycat world. So a lot of guys copied the Tiger route. And in more recent years, we've actually seen some of the high-level players want to play before and know that, no, I don't want to be peaking at the I want to be peaking going in, not hoping to bust there, because form has carried. We've seen that with the high-end players, that the good form carries, and there's so many trends as it pertains to the Masters that relates to that lead-in form that does seem to be tried and true in terms of dissecting the winner. So it is quite surprising that he didn't hijack a start in Houston last week, fit something in.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I'm not at this point. I'm not rooting for him. I'll put it out there. I'm not rooting for him.
I definitely will not be rooting for him. Another guy that found his way onto Twitter because Phil said that he's actually the best player in the world is Neiman. Neiman's actually someone I really like. He's priced at 28-1. Thoughts on that number there for Neiman?
It will get better unless he plays great in Doral, which he probably should play great in Doral because Neiman is a truly outstanding player.
Mm-hmm.
I bet him last year across the board at the majors at Christmas at 80-1, and he wasn't even in some of them yet. Like, that's how much I love him.
Yeah.
That being said, the other side of the coin here, Steph, I don't think he's ever T15 in a major. So he's never tasted that smoke. And the fact is, when he went to live at an age where, like, he ran away with Riviera one year, which was an incredible week and accomplishment for him. But we've never seen him like taste smoke of like the best player in the world at a moment in time or something as prestigious as a major championship. That being said, if you call me back in a month and we're talking PGA Championship, I have not made the bet yet, but I do not see a way in which I will not bet him to win at Quail Hollow.
Yeah.
I believe it sets up perfectly for him. And at like the 40-1s that are available right now, I'm probably going to. I could guarantee almost I'll have him on my PGA Championship Quail Hollow betting card.
Yeah, I 100%. And he's one of the guys too. It's like there's not many guys on Live just straight up that I miss seeing compete like on the PGA Tour, but he is one. Like that one stung because he was one of my favorite players. He was bound for so much in it on tour. So that was one that one hurt.
Probably the player that did hurt the most. And that is, it might be weird to say, but I knew what Brooks, I knew what Bryson were. I know what Rahm was when he left. I still wanted Neiman to be like what I think he is. And it, fair or unfair, it's just hard to quantify. It's hard to quantify. At least he's winning. Like he's winning a lot and that has to mean something. But as it pertains to Live, I actually think they'll show well next week. I do. There's 12 of them. I think overall it will be a strong performance. But at the same time, I don't know how to quantify what third or fourth place on a given Live event is worth or means in the context of form and playing well and that. So that's still we're 3 or 4 years in. I still don't know how to quantify what anything but a win or a podium is worth to me.
Right. Like I have a future on Bryson that God, I don't even know how long ago I bet. It was a 32-1 that I'm sitting on, but it's also I look at his results. I don't even know what to do with that. How can I even tell what that would be like as far as it is on the tour?
Yeah. And the courses they play, they're relatively easy courses. They don't hit out a rough very much. I do find it interesting. Doral's a test. It will be the hardest course they've played. Right. And I actually, I'm not going to lie, full disclosure, it's their first North American event this year. American, I should say. And I believe it's going to be on Fox on normal TV times. So I'm going to give it I'm not going to pass channel surf by it and not stop to see Bryson loading up a drive or Neiman or Phil hitting a chip or any of those guys. But it isn't the Blue Monster at Doral is not the course you would think is an ideal lead in to the Masters.
Right.
But in terms of difficulty, it is very hard, and the guys that play well there, should pay attention to.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to talk to you quick about the AFC West, so let me do this ad read quick. SGPN has partnered up with Edge Boost, the premier Visa debit card for bettors. An Edge Boost card allows you to avoid the hassle of having your card denied at the sportsbook, CFS site, sweepstakes site, racetrack, or casino. Plus, you earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards for using your Edge Boost card. And your money is safe as the card is FDIC insured. The best part is no credit checks, and it's completely free. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet. Promo code SGPN. I know I only have a few minutes left with you, so I had to get some Chargers feelings from you. overall off season going well? Favorite thing that occurred this off season for you guys?
You know, I'm not gonna lie. My favorite thing that's occurred this offseason is that I just like trust things are like happening properly. Despite Steph really not doing much with the like extensive cap room that they had.
Yeah.
They obviously didn't like anything out there. But yeah, there wasn't really outside of Becton, which I think will be pretty important in that playoff game versus Houston, and anyone that when the Chargers did struggle, it was, you know, they got killed up the gut. So it's exciting to think like Becton and Joe Alt and Slater, like they are one more offensive lineman from like being in the conversation with the best O-line in football. And I'll be really corny to say, with the prices going on at receiver right now, I think the 1 year $6 million for Mike Williams is actually a really good deal. I know he did nothing. I know he did nothing last year, but he tore his ACL like midseason the year before.
Yeah.
He went to the Jets. He didn't have a training camp. Aaron Rodgers had his favorites. Mike wasn't one of them. He obviously had that moment, and then Aaron blamed him. But, you know, he's just going to go back, I think, into a comfortable situation at $6 million a year when, like, you see Josh Palmer, who I really like, who went to Buffalo getting like 12.
That was crazy.
I think that works out. And I know this is so embarrassing to say, but I'm really like liking the other rumor that like Keenan Allen might be returning.
I hope he does. I think it's fun.
It would give me like a really, honestly, it would give me like the feels. You know what I mean when I say that? Like it would really, if they're not, yeah. I know, like I want them to win so badly, but if they're not gonna win, these sorts of things like at least make my insides happy until, you know, we start losing the games.
Yeah.
But overall, just excited that the program is, I don't like there's good leadership and I trust the GM. They did a great job last year, and obviously Harbaugh's gonna just all business.
And okay, what about Najee Harris? Are we not?
1 year deal. Like I'm not gonna.
I like Najee. I'm like in the rare. Okay. I'm like one of the one.
Listen, the people who yell at me about my friend yelling at me about Najee is obviously my friend who like had him in fantasy or something last year.
Right. And I will say, sometimes I just have to like bet something on football because it makes me feel better because I miss it so much. And I've already placed a Najee bet to have 1,000+ rushing yards in the regular season at +160. He's hit this for me I think I bet it the last 3 years. He's hit it 4 years in a row. And I think he goes over it again this year. And I just needed to have some money on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to see how that will happen. But obviously, like the addition of Becton, it being a Harbaugh priority. Yeah. I see everyone mocking me, Colston Loveland, and I'd love that because I need a tight end. I grew up a child of Antonio Gates. Like, I need a seam buster on this team desperately. It's probably the worst tight end room in the league. But come on, like Jim Harbaugh's going to draft like another mauler or a defensive tackle. Absolutely. That's exactly what's going to happen. But Najee will do his thing. I don't think that means that Jim Harbaugh won't be looking for his forever back, though, in this deep class. A 1 year deal does not mean that Harbaugh finding his forever back is off the table in the first 2 days of the draft.
Yeah. Win totals came out. I was a little bit surprised to find the Chargers win total at 9.5. They won 11 games last year. It's set at the same number as the Broncos. Thoughts on those two numbers going over, under before I let you get out of here?
Full credit for the Broncos for what they did last year, but I hate them more. The Chiefs won the championships and the Raiders are like the true historic rival, but the Broncos are the ones I just hate. But they've done some good things, and I got to give them credit. Steph, the Chargers 11 games. They didn't beat a team. They didn't beat the best team they beat last year was the Broncos twice. And as someone who thinks the Broncos suck, I was like, we didn't beat anyone good. But when you win 5 games the year before, you just accept winning 11. You don't like worry about who they came against. Next year, that'll obviously be like more of a fan base priority. We need a quality win. Obviously, I'm going to pick the over. I saw some other places posting 10.5, which like gave me the creeps. But Bolts over, Broncos under. Rumors that we're getting the Chiefs week 1 in Brazil, which I like because get it out of the way. And if the Chiefs are going to be like the Patriots, Steph, where like they know that they're so good that September's like almost a ramp up, play them out of the gate in a different country.
What a treat.
I think it's actually a great spot game for the Chargers. Your audience is like, this guy's insane. What do you mean a good spot game versus the Chiefs? Andy Reid have a whole offseason to prepare. I just mean the Chiefs are going to continue their sluggish starting, not wins, and obviously they still win starting sluggish.
Yeah.
Then like get them early on the schedule. So I think if that happens, I want that draw. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
And before you let me go, I'll let you know I ordered 2 draft hats already.
You did.
The black and the cream. I
Amazing.
love them.
The
They're
cream
like
is so nice. I have to get myself one. I actually like it. I just have a hard time supporting the Giants right now. But
I get it. But if you love the draft pick, maybe you'll. But they're like that old grandpa,
like vintage,
vintage
Marine.
grandpa, Miami grandpa, Zadie. Veteran, like a grandpa who was a veteran vibe. So I couldn't decide. I just bought them both.
I love it. Let people know where they can find you. I'm sure you guys have so much content coming out for the Masters.
At G Fienberg 17 over on Twitter, Mayo Media Network. My boy and I, Pat, will be pumping up great Masters content. He'll be nonstop, probably something every single day.
Yes.
Right through the week. Odds Checker will have a video. We'll even be doing our live cut sweat next Friday, which is always super fun trying to get home for the Masters.
Yeah, I love it. Thanks, Geoff. I'll have to get you on soon again.
All the best, Steph. Anytime.
You're the best.
Later.
Yeah. And time for my bonus underdog pick'em. Underdog pick'em, you can play any sport, even MLB, which I have been kind of addicted to the last couple of days. And went up to 100x. Here's a pick'em entry I like for this week's Valero Texas Open. Sam Stevens finishing position better than 20th, as well as Corey Connors to do the same. Sam Stevens off T18 last weekend, 14th and second place here the last 2 years. That'll get you at 4.41x your money. So sign up with Smalls, 2 L's, to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SMALLS. And Rhythm is your home for AI picks and props. Rhythm is already off to a great start, has been helping you all of March Madness. Building your custom model is easy and profitable. They have models for NBA, golf, and the MLB now. Here's a long dog. I said dog. Here's a long dog play Rhythm likes, and so do I. Chris got her up top 20 plus 550. He's also off a top 18 at Houston last week. Sign up today for a 7-day free trial at sportsgamblingpodcast.rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. And now, without further ado, Cody at Smash Hit Sports. Been a while. How's it going?
Steph, it's been too long. Life is good, though. We are right in the middle of college hoops and NFL draft stuff, and content never sleeps. So not the best time of the year, but damn it, we're still having fun.
It's a weird time. It's like the problem is, like, I don't know what to focus on, and like I'm all over the place. I'm happy the Masters is coming, and I know like draft lines will be coming out a little bit more. March Madness is slowing down. That's about to be over. I'm trying to get into the MLB. Home run betting has been fun. But yeah, it's a little bit of a weird year. Time of the year.
Yeah, the good news is we have torpedo bats. And that is all anybody wants to talk about.
That's it.
I'm all for big dudes hitting nukes. Bring me back to like the 1990s and early 2000s home run race. Like that's what I want. Dingers.
I think we should give them steroids too. I think we should do torpedo bats and steroids. Bring them both. Like, let's do both of them at the same time.
Yeah, let's have these dudes hit 500-foot homers. Like, why not? Baseball is boring anyway. Make it fun.
Exactly. Give me some roid rage. Who knows? I want to ask you, you're a Bengals fan. I'm sure you saw this quote from Katie Blackburn. I'm going to read it aloud because I'd like to get your comments on it. And in case anyone did not see it, talking about Hendrickson here, he should be happy at certain rates that maybe he doesn't think he'd be happy at. I think some of it is on him to be happy at some point. And if he's not, that's what holds it up sometimes. How are we feeling about that?
Yeah, I too would be happy if I was appropriately compensated for the work that I was doing. I don't understand. It's not a very difficult concept. You have a franchise great in terms of production in sacks. Yeah. We have not had a guy like this since Carlos Dunlap. I guess you could argue Geno Atkins, but he was at the defensive tackle, so like different position. We have not had a pass rusher of his caliber in a long time in this organization. We have had historically bad, lack of success in terms of drafting pass rushers. So you're going to sit here and you have one of two options. You either keep a guy who you already paid a lot of money for, bringing him in from the Saints. He was a free agent that you brought in, which you never do. And the one time you've done it, it's been a massive success. And then you're not going to pay to retain him because you're going to rely on your historically bad defense and your historically bad GM to draft a position that you've been historically bad at in a draft this year that does not have any surefire hits. So I don't know what they think that they're doing. Either pay the guy, shit, or get off the pot. I'm so sick and tired of being like, well, if we could just find an agreeable number, it's not that difficult. Pay him around what the best defensive ends in the league are making, or you're going to lose him to a team that will pay him like one of the best defensive ends in football, because that's what he is.
And there's literally, like you said, like there is markets that you can just look at. It's not like no one's asking you to come up with a random number. Like just fucking look at what other people are getting paid and pay him something.
It's not like this isn't a Joe Burrow situation where you have to set new records in order to retain the guy. It's not Jamar Chase. It's none of that. It's just look at what the highest paid defensive ends are getting. A little less than that is probably appropriate for a not aging, right? But like he's also not a spring chicken either. Like a really good defensive end who you're going to get 3 to 4 more really productive years out of.
100%. Have you looked at some of the NFL draft markets? I'm sure you have, because I let you know that we were going to talk about that. So anything stand out to you right off the bat?
Yeah. First things first, Cam Ward being minus 2,000 to be the number 1 overall pick is disgusting. It's disingenuous. It is disrespectful to anybody who's ever watched an ounce of college football, because all of a sudden they think that Cam Ward is some sort of hero. His mechanics are meh. His production was really good against really bad teams. And then anytime he played a good team, it was also meh. Like, I don't understand. And then you have the opposite side of this, which is somebody has to select him at number 1 overall. Is it going to be the Titans? They have Will Levis under contract. And I don't think that they are a good enough team that drafting Cam Ward now is going to be beneficial, because if they do draft him now, he is going to be murdered in year 1. That offensive line stinks. They have no weapons. Like, it's Calvin Ridley and who? I don't think the Browns will do it because they are already in quarterback hell. I think that they are just going to punt this year and keep it moving. And it's absolutely not going to be the Giants. So I don't know is somebody going to move up and grab him, because I don't think he's worth moving up and grabbing for. I think this is a quarterback draft where we will see guys slide because they don't have the physical tools that a lot of the elite quarterbacks have had in recent years. I know that we've seen some guys be drafted at number 1 despite those physical tools. I just don't see it this year.
Yeah, everyone can say whatever they want, and maybe this is just me being like delusional, and because my team is one of those teams that could take a quarterback, I'm still not like, it feels like everyone's very convinced that the Titans more so whatever, but like I get it. They're probably going to end up doing it, whatever. That's how things have gone the last couple of years. But why is everyone so sure that the Browns are taking a quarter? Like I guess I'm not wrapping my head around.
Yeah, I would be shocked if they drafted anybody outside of Abdul Carter at number 2. I would be shocked, because we could see the light at the end of the tunnel with Myles Garrett's career as a Brown. I understand that they brought him back on a massive deal. That deal's really about a 2-year deal.
They're also one of the worst fucking ran franchises. So like, I don't care what decisions they make. Like,
yeah, they're awful. And it would be complete Jimmy Haslam to be like, yeah, we're just going to draft Travis Hunter because he has the most Instagram followers and gives our franchise, who has literally nothing to root for, at least one thing to root for.
Yeah.
But I just don't, there's not there's no way that they draft a quarterback. You just can't do it with what you currently have on that roster and what is it. Like, I just don't see it. Abdul Carter makes the most sense to me. I could see Travis Hunter. I could also see an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman at that spot, like a Mason Graham type. But there is zero reason for me to believe that it's going to be Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders 1-2. I just don't get it. And the line for Shedeur Sanders is currently sitting at 6.5. I just don't. I would lean the over there. There's not a team outside of that top 6. Like, are the Raiders maybe going to draft him at 6?
I saw an 8.5. See, I don't think anyone knows where this fucking kid is going because I saw an 8.5 and the over and under are both minus 115.
Yeah, it's gross and I don't like it. There's a lot of, I really feel uncertain about the first handful of picks. And this is the first draft that we've had in a while where I don't think there is an absolute stud. I think there's some really good guys at their positions. I think Will Campbell is a surefire, easy, set it and forget it Pro Bowl offensive tackle. But outside of that, like, there are a lot of question marks. There are a lot of question marks at pass rusher. The wide receivers have fallen off as of late. Luther Burden dropping down into the second round. Tet McMillan, who was pretty much a lock to be the number 1 receiver in this draft at the beginning of the year. Now he's getting much closer to second place with Matthew Golden, which I like him at plus 150 to be the first wide receiver taken. Love that. I feel much better about the middle rounds where I feel comfortable in what these teams do as franchises and comfortable in the guys that are going to be there, because this isn't a top heavy draft. It's a very deep draft, especially for a lot of the offensive and defensive lines, the running back group. The running back group is insane. And this might be the best tight end class we've seen in the last 5 to 10 years.
Oh yeah. I'm totally with you on that. I think the more I look at it, and admittedly, like, this is the first week I probably started like doing my true, like, dive in on everything. I think if you can figure out where Shedeur goes, I think things can fall into place and make things a little bit easier, because his draft position and where he goes is really makes it difficult for me, because it can shake things up, especially for like the teams that could possibly take him. I think I'm different from you where, like, I personally don't think Sanders is going to fall that far. I think teams are desperate to have quarterbacks right now, and I just think he's not going to fall as far as everyone. Like, for them to set the line 8.5, I'm just like, okay, like, I get it. I just, right now, am I going to say, yeah, definitely take the under that? No. But if that gets a lot longer, I don't know about that. I think teams are desperate. I think they want a quarterback. Fucking Jackson Dart, he's sitting at 24.5 is his draft position. So are all three are going in the first round, we're saying?
Yeah, that's a weird line too, because Jackson Dart's number is 24.5, but the over-under for total quarterbacks drafted in the first round is sitting at 2.5. Now, granted, it's minus 300 is what I'm seeing on DraftKings, but like, I truly think that this could be one of those drafts where we start to see some of these guys fall. The Will Levis, the Kenny Pickett's, those types of drafts where, like, we talk about them a lot, and it would not shock me if Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders both went in the top 10, top 8. Like, that wouldn't shock me at all. But I don't think there's a team right now who thinks that my quarterback position can be immediately improved by spending a first-round draft capital on a guy like Jackson Dart when you could potentially wait, trade up, and get him right at the beginning of day 2.
It's so that line's interesting too, because I don't know if you remember. I feel like we even talked about this on a show way back when, but like Penix's line was like sitting at like 32.5, like it was 32.5, 34.5. Like him and Nick's were way over. So to me, it's like, what do the odds makers kind of know? Because I don't remember it being like this even for the Willis draft. So to me, I have a hard time thinking either of these guys fall out, whether I think that they should be going in the first round or not. I'm not a Jackson Dart girl. I will not be a Jackson Dart girl. I don't care if he ends up being fantastic. That's great. Great for the team that drafts him. But I'm surprised that even like it's getting set where it's at 24.5. Okay. Not exactly where I thought it would be, but whatever.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, with that 24.5 pick, it's like, what team in that range is going to be drafting a quarterback? Like, maybe the Rams at 26, but, like, every
what are
other
they thinking,
team
like Steelers? Is that what the big
at 21?
thing is?
Like, I don't know.
Or they're thinking someone's going to jump back in. Is that what the thing is here?
And that absolutely could be the case. But, like, I'm not going to sit here. I will never project trades in a draft just because it's so hard to predict. You don't know what goes on behind closed doors.
Right.
I like, what I feel pretty confident in.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm even looking now, like who would even be, I mean, come on, with some of these teams.
Really, the
like,
only
are people trying to
teams
talk themselves into like a Miami? Like, I don't know what, I don't know. Yeah, I think you'd have to do a lot of forcing.
And even then, like, he's probably not going to be a guy who starts. Like, there's no, got to be a team that's like, oh yeah, we're preparing for the future. It's like, all right, but you're going to spend a first round pick to do that. Like, I feel like that see the Packers did it with Jordan Love, and all of a sudden everybody's like, holy shit, look at this. I feel like that's the exception, not the rule.
Yeah. You spoke about the running backs. Genty is what everyone is going to talk about, obviously.
Yep.
Where is he at? And he's at 9.5. Yep. I kind of find some of the other markets a little bit more interesting, like the exact team. I think that there's maybe some value there. If you like him to be a Raider, that's still a better number than taking the under there. They're drafting at 6. That's minus 165. The Bears are plus 250, but okay, as a long shot, is there any value on the Saints taking him at 14-1? Like, that's a pretty long number. And why is that completely out of the realm of possibilities?
Yeah, I don't like we've seen teams with running backs draft other running backs. Like, it isn't, the Lions are the biggest prime example of this, bringing in Jahmyr Gibbs. And I could absolutely see the Saints doing that, especially with knowing Ashton Genty and Alvin Kamara play the same position, but could not be more different players.
Mm-hmm.
Ashton Genty is as close to a wide receiver as you can get at the running back position, or Alvin Kamara is. And Ashton Genty is a thumper. He's a slasher. Like, his footwork and his discipline in hitting holes is so beautiful to watch. I don't hate that at plus 1,400. I think that's a great pick. That's something that the Saints could get behind. And I wouldn't mind that pairing together, because they are two. You could put them on the field at the same time and still have two completely different packages for each guy.
Right. And Kamara's older. I mean, I think now is the time where you can get creative, and then like as we get closer and we learn more, you can put yourself in a better position. But like, again, I think the Raiders seem like the obvious answer here. There's been steam now around the Bears. Also very interesting. I don't know, who did I hear? Ben Johnson was really glazing Tyler Warren. I don't know if anyone caught that the other day. So like, there's some smoke out there that you also have to lean into. But I think, if the position's at 9.5, are you leaning towards the under there? Because for him to go within that top 9.
Yeah, I would lead towards the under. If you look at his production and his physical tools, they aren't quite Saquon Barkley, but they aren't far off. And Saquon went, 4. Like, Bijan went around that position. I think Ashton Genty is as good of a player. And for you to get that number at 9.5, I would take the under there.
Is there any other lines that you were looking at here?
My favorite bet that's on the board right now is first offensive lineman. He's a guy that I brought up before, but it's Will Campbell. He's actually not the first lineman off the board per the odds. It is Armand. Armand
Mambo. Yeah.
Here, Steph, tell me this. Can you name a single offensive tackle who's 6'3"? Because I don't know if I can. Yeah. And then the next question is, can you name the last time a guard was the first offensive lineman selected in a draft? Because that I can tell you, it's Quentin fucking Nelson. And this guy is not Quentin Nelson, right? So in what world are you either drafting the first left tackle overall to be a 6'3" tackle from Missouri, or you were drafting the first offensive lineman off the board to play guard? You're just not doing it. The fact that you can get Will Campbell, who was elite production at LSU. Yeah, his arms are a little short. Who gives a shit? He can block with as good as anybody in the country. He's not Joe Alt, but he's not far off. He is an outstanding left tackle. I think he will be a set it, forget it. He's your left tackle for the next 10 years as soon as he is selected. I love everything about, like, mentally, he is just as sharp as it comes. His interviews are great. Will Campbell at -105 to be the first offensive lineman drafted is the only bet that I have actually already put money on. And I'll probably do it again before it's all said and done. I love that line.
Yeah. Membo is one that I am going to spend some time watching. He sounds like he feels like some of the Jets would draft. But I think, like, I've seen him going to San Fran, and I could totally see that being where he goes. I know his draft position is 6.5.
Yep.
That right now not going anywhere near that.
Yeah, that I just don't see the fit, especially because there are offensive line needy teams in that range. But I like you said, I love the 49ers there. I think that would be a great pick. I don't hate the Cowboys taking him at 12, knowing that he could potentially fill that Zach Martin hole for a year. And then if, can't remember their offensive tackle off the top of my head, but if he retires, you switch him out to the outside.
Yeah.
Like they have the flexibility to do that. I think that would be a really a great pick for the Cowboys, actually.
It's interesting too, but then I saw, like, remember, he's the favorite to be the 4th pick, and he's the second favorite to be the 5th pick. So I get the line makes sense. So there's something else that I'm obviously missing. I have to take like there might be some value in taking the under at the +150, but again, probably something I'm going to wait to be betting on as we get closer. It's just kind of like working through. I did find one bet that I very much like, and it's the Vikings position of first drafted player.
Ooh. Okay, let's hear it.
And it's a safety at +350. Bynum is gone. Kwesi, this is such a Kwesi fucking move. Even if they trade down, you put yourself, it doesn't matter, because we're just taking the first position drafted. It's +350. Starks or that kid out of South Carolina, like, this is just it feels like a Kwesi move. And this is something that I probably will be sprinkling a little bit of money on.
Yeah, I would not be shocked if those safeties went like within 2 or 3 picks of each other. They're both
they probably
equally
will.
talented. Starks is the name that like everybody knows because he played for Georgia.
Yeah.
But I think it's Emenawari.
Yes.
I'm not going to sit here and act like I can, pronounce it correctly.
Emenawari.
Yeah. But he was great out of South Carolina.
Yeah.
And he's a guy that like long, lengthy, like he can cover ground. He reminds me very much of like Kyle Hamilton in his ability to get from point A to point B in a way that's like, he doesn't run a 4.25 40-yard dash, but damn it looks like it when he's out on the field because he anticipates and his pursuit is excellent. I like both of those guys. I think that would be a phenomenal fit. Steph, you might have convinced me to take that.
I think it's a nice number, and I feel like just watching their tendencies, and it's also, the Vikings had a really good free agency. Their roster's in a good spot. Like, to be able to just add a safety that you think you can start right away in Brian Flores' defense, I really like the idea of that.
Yeah, I love that a lot. I'm interested. The lines for like running backs, tight ends, like the total number drafted in the first round. How do you feel confident about any of those lines?
No.
Because looking at tight ends, 1.5, like the Colson Loveland.
It's at 1.5.
Yeah, the Colson Love. It was like -500, but
okay.
I'm not going to put a play on something like that. But there's an outside shot that I think we could get 3 in the first round. I really do.
I think one could sneak into the end there. I don't disagree with you at all. And I think even like Loveland, I was looking at his draft. He's at 19.5 his draft position. Yep. He's getting mocked a lot to the Chargers. I could also see them do like the D-line edge type, like a Kenneth Grant if he's there hanging out. So that's a sharp line. He kind of fits there, and the over is +110. I don't hate it because because I think we'll see a run on these defensive players. Wide receivers will end up popping in at some point. So for him to go over and be there for the Chargers does make sense. But I think we get 2. Is there a chance that we get 3?
Yeah, I think Mason Taylor is a freak. He is an absolute freakazoid athlete, and his pro day numbers are unbelievable. He would have, I think he had like the best, it would have been the best 40 amongst tight ends at the combine and the bench press among tight ends at the combine. He's an absolute freak athlete, and his numbers at LSU aren't like eye-popping outstanding.
Yeah.
But there's good enough production and elite level traits that I think I could see a team that has an embarrassment of riches, which is typically your guys at the end of this draft, taking a shot on him, especially like a Washington. Like I know defense is something that they are going to be targeting early and often in this draft, but I could see Washington taking a shot. I could see the Rams taking a shot. He is so talented. If his line comes out, it might be, the day before the draft. I'm hammering that under no matter what that number is.
Yeah. I looked at 2 today, staying on tight ends. I feel like the Colts need to take a tight end. Like I'm kind of sick of their bullshit. And I just take a tight end, and can we be done with this? Like Mo Alley Cox this and Granson that. Like just you guys need a fucking tight end. It's plus 180. It makes a lot of sense. His Tyler Warren's draft position is at 9.5, and I think they're the Colts right outside of that, right?
Yeah. The Colts are sitting.
Oh, they're 14.
At 14.
They won 8 games. Who knew?
Tyler Warren's one of those guys where he's just they use him everywhere. He's a freak.
Yeah.
He was all of Penn State's offense last year. Like there was not anywhere outside of their running backs and Tyler Warren that you could go to. He's insane. But a guy who's like very similar in that I would love to see in a Colts uniform. It would not be in round 1, but Harold Fannin Jr. out of Bowling Green is disgusting. And I've heard people describe him. They're like, oh, he's not really a tight end. He's just a slow wide receiver that like you can line up in line and in the slot. And I was like, wow. So Travis Kelce, he put up historic numbers. He was the best receiving tight end in the country last year by a country mile. I would love to see him in an offense that desperately needs an over-the-middle weapon like Indianapolis. Now,
I'm so happy you came on, because now I'm getting like actually fucking excited for the draft, and it's been a while since I've been actually excited about it. I'm so happy right now. Obviously, it's been kind of negative because the Giants are really hard to. It's hard to be a fan of the Giants around drafts. It's not fun at all by any means.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's a tough time.
Before
I tell you one of the other longer shots that I liked, we're brought to you by MyBookie AG. MyBookie is your place to bet every sport, plus props for every game. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations. Easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Be sure to take a sneak peek at their Masters odds. They're on there. Still very good value. If you want to get in early, head to mybookie.ag, promo code SMALLS, 2 L's, for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. So that last long shot that I looked at, which there's so much to go through. I forgot how much fun betting on the draft is, because there's so many things that you can do, but you have to line shop. Please, for the love of fucking God, everyone. Like if there's one thing I ask you to do, please, like, because there's so many ways to bet like the same thing, like 8 different ways. So you have to like make sure you actually line shop here. But Carolina, the position of first drafted player, hear me out, wide receiver at plus 600. Plus 600. Okay. Listen, everyone. McMillan, Golden, I don't really care. Another weapon here for Mr. Bryce Young. They did a pretty good job. Like their O-line's pretty solid. Run game is pretty solid. Canales does like his big-bodied receivers featured in his offense. They've gone early in wide receiver in the past. Like I don't think you can't really put it past them to do that. Is it necessarily what I would do? I don't know. Would it be fun for Bryce Young, and would I love it? And is plus 600 a nice number? Yes.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. Like a Tet McMillan would make sense in the scheme of that offense because he could take it deep. Matthew Golden, like they could use those types of weapons, and I like that a lot. The one thing too is Dave Canales has been blessed when he was in Tampa with elite wide receiver play. I mean, that was his bread and butter. He had Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, along with, some really solid third and fourth string guys. And I wouldn't be shocked if, to make his offense more comfortable, especially for Bryce Young, who is just starting to get really more comfortable in that offense at the end of the year, getting a guy who can be your every down target, I think is going to be a priority. If they don't do it in round one, it's 100% going to happen in round two.
Yeah.
They need a guy there. And that makes a lot of sense for where the talent is going to fall. That 8-9 range, like they're going to be wide receivers there.
Yes, Trevor is saying your zona bias is showing. It sure is, and it's fine because McMillan is just a good fit in general for that offense, for Bryce Young, for Dave Canales. So I think the plus 600 is nice there. A lot of these, as we continue to get closer, are going to get shorter. So if you can find some of them now. Is there another one? Did you look at anything else that kind of stood out to you? That might be I think those are the only ones that really stood out to me. You kind of did you mention Golden to be the first wide receiver selected?
Yeah, where that's at, plus 150, I just think there's enough noise around it. He splashed at the combine. I from initial talks with people, it sounded like he really impressed in terms of the interview and kind of the off the field stuff. I like Matthew Golden a lot. He was really productive at Texas. The other bet, my last one that I really like when it comes to the draft, at least right now, is under 3.5 players drafted from the ACC in the first round. There's going to be 2 that are essentially guaranteed. It's going to be Cam Ward, and it's going to be Boston College defensive end Donovan Ezaraku. He is an absolute stud. His production is as good or better than every other defensive end in this class. His biggest, oh my God, he's only 6'3". Damn. I watched him eat all season. I'm okay if he's only 6'3". That being said, who else is going to be I don't know if they get to 3, because the only other one that I could think of that might be around one guy is Amarian Hampton. And in the deepest running back class we've seen in a long time, how early are teams going to be willing to draft the second best running back in this class?
Yeah.
When you can wait and get arguably a guy just as good in round 2 or round 3, I'm fine with that under 3.5. I think that might drop to 2.5 as we get closer to draft day. So I'm sprinkling a little bit on that early.
I think I'm going to tail you on that. I know I was looking at the Big 12 line too. Those are some fun markets to play around with too as we get closer to the draft.
Oh yeah. The conference ones, I'm not messing with the SEC and the Big Ten just because
let's not be crazy.
Yeah. Like that. No, but number of group of 5 school, number of players from the group of 5 being drafted in the first round. If that is a line that comes out, things like that, I think are a lot more interesting because there's always guys who sneak into round 1. Maybe not with Bill Belichick not drafting, but there's always guys who are just where the fuck did he come from? Guys who
what do you mean?
Mike Green, somebody's team is going to draft Mike Green and they're just going to be who the fuck is this guy from Marshall? We really wasted a first round pick on a guy from Marshall. And then they're going to watch him play and be oh, yeah, now I get it.
Yeah, always. And there's always I feel like this happens every year where there's cornerbacks that fall to the second round and people are why the fuck is he sitting there still? How do we let that team get them?
Yeah.
Every year.
And it's always a guy from the SEC too. You're what? He played at LSU. What are we doing?
Yeah, 100%.
Every year.
Yeah, every single year. I'll have to get you on closer to the draft too once we start going through all these. Did you see yesterday my people who deserve less list?
No.
Okay.
People who deserve less.
Yes.
I'm excited for this.
Okay. I feel like you'll appreciate it. Okay. First of all, agree or disagree that April Fool's Day is the dumbest fucking shit ever?
Oh, I tweeted that out. If you participate in April Fool's Day, I lose respect for you. It's disgusting. It's gross. I hate it.
Yeah. So number 3 on the list is you still tell April Fool's jokes. That's the same type of person that You know, when you're leaving, when you would leave school or work and you're leaving for the holidays and they're like, see you next year. Like, so you're like one of the worst types of people. No one has never been funny. Even when I was in 3rd grade, I did not think April Fool's Day was funny. Has it ever been funny? No. See you next year. Like, yeah, see you in 3 days. You're hilarious. It's not funny. Those things are not funny. These people are the worst.
Those are the same types of people who just like repeat a joke that was previously said like a half hour ago and just louder and hope that nobody catches on. It's the worst.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to highlight a few of these and then I want you to like start thinking of like your pet peeves that people do. You'll appreciate some of these because they have the gym is involved in them. So people that don't wipe down their equipment at the gym, you're disgusting. People that wear their sneakers in the sauna, disgusting. People who tip less because the food was bad has nothing to do with the server. You suck. People that look for the closest parking spot at the gym, you're going to the fucking gym, but you're annoying me. Why are you going around in circles? People that don't know how to split a sidewalk, you learn that in preschool. So something's not clicking there. People that plan weddings during sports, like very big sporting events. I realize it's kind of hard. You can't always get around it, but still. This one gets me. My blood is boiling. People that don't know when it's their turn at a 4-way stop.
Oh, that's the worst.
What are you doing? Like, how have you not figured this out by now? I don't understand. This should not be hard. No. This should not be hard here. Let's see some of the ones I didn't feature yesterday. People sorry if you did this at your wedding. I can't stand it. I think it's because I went to too many. People who start their wedding speeches, for those of you who don't know me, like, yeah, a lot of us just don't know you. Just go right into it. People that say as an insert team fan before they argue on Twitter, I don't give a fuck if you're a Jets fan. That has nothing to do. You have no qualifications in this argument.
Yeah. Hey, as a Michigan fan, I'm sorry your quarterback tore his ACL. Oh, so you have decent empathy, but you needed to like preface that by the fact that, I'm a fan of this team and also I'm empathetic. So crazy.
People that try to get off the plane before it's their turn, you're not helping the process. You're doing nothing. You're not doing anything productive here. People who still order Frappuccinos. I could keep going on. So is there any pet peeves that you'd like to add to the people that deserve less? List.
Yeah. Number one, people that don't know how to operate a roundabout. This might be a Midwest thing.
Yeah. And it might be.
Roundabouts aren't hard. They're not hard. It's a circle. You get in, you get out, you yield. Like it's not rocket science here. All right. Circles are a basic shape. We figured this one out. Yeah. The next one, if you are in like at a work setting and you're like, oh, can I go to the bathroom? Just go. We're all adults here. Like, what do you mean? Oh, you have to ask in a meeting if you can leave to go to you stopped the meeting for that? Just go to the bathroom. I promise you.
Go pee-pee, James. Go pee-pee. It's okay.
Oh, think about the shareholders. This stupid.
So
oh
stupid.
My God.
So stupid.
On top of that, people who don't re-rack their weights at the gym are a special kind of messed up.
I did add that to the end.
That is a step below not returning your shopping cart at a grocery store. Yeah. Because I work out at a YMCA. There are grandmas and moms and like people who use this equipment that they should never have to pick up a 45-pound plate. Like for them to have to adjust what they're doing or work out
100%.
Because you were so inconsiderate to not re-rack your weights. Insane to me. That's also at the gym, my gym has a second floor. People will take the elevator up to the second floor in order to use the goddamn Stairmaster. Explain that to me. Explain that to me like I'm 5. You're just actively avoiding the thing that you are trying to do. What is it? What is this? It's in the same ballpark as trying to get the closest parking spot at the gym. Why? You're doing a shortcut for what? It's insane.
That's horrible. That's so bad. I'm going to leave it. I'll leave it on this one before I let you tell everyone they can find you. And this one, I thought of this one yesterday and I feel so fucking strongly about this one. People who check in on you before asking for a favor. Just get to we don't need the how are you, blah, the random question. Just fucking ask me what you need and move on. You don't have to butter me up.
This might be the Midwest in me. I don't hate that.
I know. I
don't hate it.
I don't hate it if you're like close enough to me, but I'm talking like someone that I haven't heard from in like fucking 6 years or is always the person reaching out to me for fantasy help once a year. Like, just get to the point. I appreciate hey, my fantasy draft, like, just, I don't care. What do you want from me? That's fair. The East Coast to me. I know.
Yeah, like at the 9 to 5, I get the Teams message. Hey, how's it going? Look, if you're not texting me and you're messaging me on Teams, you need something. What do you need? Let's get to the point here. So that's fair. I'm backing my take up just a skosh.
Awesome. Let people know where they can find you. Make sure you guys follow him on all socials. Let us know if you have anything coming up that they should know about, and then I'll let you out of here.
Yeah, at Smash Hit Sports, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of those things. Have some really exciting stuff coming up. We are redoing the gambling guide for college football this year. Last year, I said, you know what? 69 power conference teams just wasn't enough. So we are doing every single team in the FBS this season, a full page dedicated to each and every team. It's so much fun to make. I spend like 100+ hours on it every year. I am so excited for that to drop. Number 2 is I am pre-recording a bunch of content because I'm about to have a kid.
Yeah, you are.
Shout out. Hey. Woo! It works. Anyway, the content that I am recording is all interviews with players who play college football. So if you want to know the behind the scenes of what NIL looks like from the other side, what's it like to get recruited, what's it like to play high level college football, those interviews are coming out here in the next couple of weeks. I'm very, very excited. I already have a handful of them recorded. I don't want to release them yet because I haven't, we haven't given out that type of information, and quite frankly, I don't know when my kid's going to come, so I'm kind of waiting to announce when I'm going to release those, but super excited for it. Make sure you go check it out. It'll be on the YouTube, but you'll see it everywhere if you follow me on socials.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Trevor. I appreciate the
check it out. Yes, congrats on the sex, Cody. You're always welcome on the show. We'll get you on Closer to the Draft. If you have not subscribed, please do that. Rate, review on the Spotify helps us out immensely, and I'll see you guys on Monday, Masters Week.
Watch him make it, break it, break it, break it.